talking SRAM Eagle transmission. I've been riding the XX, just the standard XX transmission, and then I've also got some time on the XO transmission. It is good. It is really, really good. I don't know if it's $1,600 to $2,200 good, but it is the best shifting I've ever used. That's hands down by far. When you're climbing, you can just like click gears and it's like silent, and sometimes you're climbing and you click a gear and like it makes literally no noise and you're like, did it actually shift? But it is pedaling easier and you're like, huh. In your head you're like, it has to make a noise or something, or a grind or something, and it doesn't do it a lot of the time. Sometimes, yeah, it still does. Sometimes it'll make a noise, but it'll still feel smooth. Smoother than any other drivetrain I've ever used. Like, I would say XTR is probably the next most smooth drivetrain I've ever used, but I actually have liked the previous AXS more because of how quick it was. The previous AXS was really fast and crisp shifting. This one I would say is not quite as fast as a shift as the previous AXS, or even probably Cable, or XTR, Shimano, or whatever it is. Like, even Cable is faster. But the reason is because they have specific teeth that allow the chain to move up on. So it's not going to go up a gear or down a gear until it gets to that tooth, and then it will drop down, and that's what makes it so smooth. But when you're just like clicking it, it is a little bit slower than the regular AXS. I know it's on the stand, you're not supposed to do that, but I only went one up on each way. But anyways, it's a little slow, but that's fine. Like, it shifts so smooth and you don't really notice this slow shifting. Also on the app, I go in and make it so that you can click up or down unlimited amount of times, because that's just like how I like it. You can also click one single up or down, two up or down, like you press and hold, it'll just shift twice, or press and hold and it'll shift 3 times, up or down. You can make one go, let's say you want to make it shift up 3 times, and then you want to make it shift down unlimited, you can do that also, which is really cool in the app. And then I will say, I do think, performance aside, let's talk about weight. Overall, the entire system, I believe, is heavier than the old SRAM Eagle AXS, or just regular Eagle XO1 or XX1 Cable stuff. So if you're really worried about weight, not sure if you really want to do this, but I mean, it shifts so good that if you're worried about weight, you might be racing. And racing cross country, being able to shift with this confidence might actually make you a little faster. But I don't race cross country, don't ever plan to, so I'm not really sure. You can let me know in the comments down below how wrong I am about that. But it's pretty solid. And also, I will say, online, these cranks I thought looked pretty bad. I was like, man, I'm not that stoked about getting those on my bike. And then I got them, I saw them in person, I was like, oh, those actually look pretty slick. And then you put them on, and this bike looks pretty good, dang good with it, and I'm stoked with it. One other thing, these little bash guard ring things, I forget what they actually called them, but they're pretty heavy. Personally, I probably will take them off. I don't have a problem with that, bashing my chainring very often. Maybe if I lived in a really rocky place in like Arizona, or even like Southern California is pretty rocky down there, I might put them back on. But I think I'm going to take those off. That's like, I think it's like 1/5 of a pound or something. It's like 80 grams or something. I don't know, something like that. Not that big of a deal, but I don't know. I don't know if I like the look of it either. Small details, but that's super easy to take off. I'm pretty sure I can even just take those off with everything installed and easy peasy. And you can even just put the top one on. I don't know about that. Like, I don't know if that actually make a difference when you're pedaling. Probably not, but you'd have like heavy on the bottom, light on top, which I think if you were to only run one, I would just run it on, if let's say you run right foot forward, which would be this way, then I just run it down here. If you run left foot forward, I'd run it on this one. But that's just me. Overall though, super, super cool product. But with that, let's talk about the price again. The XO, which is now aluminum cranks, doesn't have all the features. It doesn't have that like magic wheel, and it's just heavier. Actually, the cassette is the same weight as the XX regular cassette, but man, $1,600 is a lot of money. I don't think that, and with having to buy the entire thing, it's a lot of work too. I don't think a lot of people have A, the tools to do it, B, the time that they want to do it. It doesn't take a crazy amount of time, but if you have all the tools and the knowledge to do it, it's an hour and a half job at max. But if you haven't done anything like this could take you a few hours, 4 hours, I'm sure, plus if you've never done something like this. And then you have to make sure you have the tools, and then if you go to a shop, I'm sure it's probably $100, I'm assuming, $100 to $200 to install something like this. And that just gets pretty dang expensive. You're pretty much at $2,000 for the cheapest option with tax and installation. So in some locations, tax might even be more, and labor might even be more. So it's a very expensive thing, and I think I've talked about this before, maybe even on my unboxing video. I was talking to a friend, and pretty much anything above $1,000 across any piece on your bike besides the frame probably won't make that much of a performance gain for you. And I'm talking like a wheel set. $1,000 wheel set's gonna be really good. Yeah, sure, $2,000 carbon wheel set, yeah, it's gonna be a little bit lighter. Are you gonna really notice? Are you gonna be happy out on the trail with a $2,000 wheel set over a $1,000? I know we're talking about transmission right now, but like that $1,000 price point for me, I think some things might even be $500 or $300. It all depends. But like that $1,000 price point, in my opinion, anything above that is kind of just the latest and greatest, or very marginal, 5% better or something. I do think this is more than 5% better than your standard XO cable drivetrain. But the XO cable drivetrain is probably like $1,000 cheaper. Well, I guess not with the cassette and the cranks, but still, it's probably $500 cheaper, and that is a lot of money, and that's a third of the price. So, I don't know. It's tough. It's hard for me to say, yeah, go buy one. It's going to be the best thing ever. If you do buy one and you do have the money, I think you'll really enjoy it. So, I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. Is this too much money? Are you going to hold out and just buy the regular Axis on a super good sale price? Or are you going to wait and see if maybe they come out with some different colors? I have no idea. I'm assuming, like, SRAM's all about cool looks and all that. So, I'm assuming they're going to come out with, like, colored chains and colored cassettes at some point. I'm sure it's probably going to be this winter or next spring sometime if they do. Or are you waiting for a GX AXS transmission? I think that's probably coming. Like, I would assume that is. This bike, the Transition Smuggler, the GX AXS build, I don't want to say this is for sure. I have no idea. And just looking at the specs and how far out those bikes are, to me, I feel like that bike actually might be coming with a GX AXS transmission, not GX AXS Eagle, which is the old version of stuff. Nothing on that bike right now, to me, seems like it should be back ordered 3+ months. It said it was going to originally be June, so maybe SRAM had a hiccup on their GX AXS stuff, or they wanted to push the delivery date out on it. I have no idea, but that's just my opinion. I might be way off. Once again, let me know in the comments down below. Do you think that SRAM's coming out with the GX version of this transmission this year? If so, what's the cost? I think it's probably going to be $1,000 at least. I bet you it's going to be $1,100 to $1,200. That would be my guess. That's still expensive, but definitely more reasonable than this. Obviously, this one's like $2,150, I believe, retail, or $2,200. The XO is $1,600. So, yeah, overall, super rad stuff. It seems really durable. I mean, this thing is pretty dang, like, massive and bulky and just looks strong. So, you've seen all the videos. I'm not going to do it because I paid for this. I'm not going to stand on it and stuff, but you've seen all the videos of people standing on it. But yeah, overall, super good stuff. Worth it. That's up for debate. But anyways, if you like this video, like and subscribe for more like this, and get out and ride.